Hi there everyone, Guardian E here with another live reaction and first impression video for Fire Emblem Heroes. And tonight we are getting the reveal of the next set of new heroes to drop into the game in just a few short days. All signs point to this being the Fallen banner of this year, and your guess is as good as mine as far as who is going to be revealed. Of course, I'm always going to root for a potential Fallen Camilla one of these days, so who knows. Not holding my breath, of course, but we'll just have to see. I don't know, could be more Three Houses. That's never a bad guess. But I have it pulled up here, haven't seen the thumbnail, haven't seen the title, so we're going to go ahead and hit play, watch it together for the first time to see the units revealed, and then we'll go ahead and rewind, take a closer look, and evaluate the banner as a whole. But these have traditionally been good banners. The Fallen banners are usually pretty stacked for new hero banners, so let's get into it. Okay, wait for the text to leave. There we go. Okay. And new heroes join the battle. No extra flavor to that text or anything. Nothing. Okay, looks evil. Oh! Silent Broodling? Okay, there is Fates.
Humans, did you really think you could beat me?
Dark Lilith? Really?
Fine.
Huh. Silent Power. I would be very surprised if anybody guessed Dark Lilith. Oh, her sprite is always adorable. Even if it's evil, it is super adorable.
Do you wish to die?
No, I don't, Lilith. Okay, alright, so it's at least partially Fates. Who is that Azura? No, it is going to be Ninian. Frozen Heart. Fallen Ninian. Huh. Aw, her voice is heartbreaking.
Yes.
Is she going to be a dancer? So she has an assist called Call to Flame. It is going to be some sort of an evolved dance. Okay. Got some wisps around. Is it going to be dragons? Like, maybe it's just going to be all dragons. Oh wow! Are you weird? Wait. Sovereign Slain. It's just Gustav. Wait, what? Headsman Glitnir. It's not even like Fallen Gustav, it's just Gustav. But it's like Undead Gustav or like Shadow Gustav. I don't know. Because obviously he's not around anymore. Who is this? Oh! Wow, they went all over the place with this one. It's just going to be... So it is going to be Rhea. That art by Tefish is beautiful. She's going to be Colorless Dragon, Ruinous Frost, True Dragon Wall. Alright. Oh, she's going to be an Armor Near Save unit. Yeah, alright. Wow. Wow. To be Emperor. Huh. I wonder if Gustav... Let's pause here really quickly to see. No surprises here. Letizia is there. But otherwise, no, reveal of who the free character is going to be. Huh. Alright. Starting on the 10th, and presumably going for approximately an entire month. Even color distribution across. Some surprises across the board. I don't think anybody was expecting this, and actually 4 different titles represented within this banner, which is also relatively unique. No 4-star focus unit. Of course, it is a new hero banner, so these units are not going to be limited. Not what I was expecting. I feel like a lot of curveballs. I don't think really any of these are probably on anybody's list except for maybe Rhea. Gustav is really weird. Again, maybe it's going to be story-centric, like maybe he's going to come back through some sort of a resurrection process within the story, and it'll be like a shadow version of himself. I don't know. And then Dark Lilith, I have no idea. that's just kind of, again, out of left field, curveballs just all over the place. I think they all look pretty great. I'm not like bouncing off the walls super hype and excited or anything, but I'm also not like disappointed really. I like all of these picks in one way or another. So all right, well, let's take a closer look. Let's take a closer look at the characters and evaluate them. So here is Lilith. She is going to be a red flying dragon. Art looks very clean. I love the wisps and aura around her. The pose is obviously more domineering from what we expect from Lilith traditionally. I do like the shadow cast across her face. And the colors work really well. I do feel like with the Fallen versions, you have some opportunity to expand on the existing template of the character, and I don't know if they really took advantage of that here, because she looks like Lilith, except that she has an aura coming off of her, which isn't a bad thing per se. But at the same time, I do think there could have been an opportunity to sort of edge up her design, change the color scheme, or even dull the colors to make it a little bit more distinct. But I think it's nice all the same. So her weapon is going to be Silent Power. It's 16 might, grants speed +3. Unit can move to a space within 2 spaces of support partner. Okay, we're seeing more of these support partners type weapons. At start of turn, if unit is within 3 spaces of a support partner, grants null follow-up to unit and that ally for 1 turn. And at start of combat, if unit's HP is greater than or equal to 25%, grants +5 to all stats during combat. I do think it's really interesting that Fallen Lilith's gimmick is centered around the support partner, just because as Fallen units have traditionally been like solo artists. They've been lone wolves, fitting in with the whole Fallen archetype. They don't play nice, so to speak. So it's interesting to see hers associated with her support partner, whoever you assign that to be. And uniquely, unit can move to a space within 2 spaces of support partner, irrespective of where they are on the map. So that is, that's huge. That means that she can essentially just warp to her support partner and attack whoever is threatening her support partner, which the flavor is really nice on that. And it's also really, really potentially potent. So we've of course seen these support partner skills, a lot of them, not a lot of them, I would say a handful of them in the grand scheme of things. This one seems particularly potent just because of the shenanigans that you can invoke with something like that. And then if she's within 3 spaces of her support partner, which is very generous, 3 spaces is such a huge range, she grants null follow-up to the unit and that ally for 1 turn, so they both get null follow-up. And then you have the HP condition threshold with the +5 to all stats during combat. That's nothing to sneeze at. I think that's still solid. And then the adaptive damage is always nice. Draconic Aura for the special, attack speed catch 4 for the A slot. That is going to boost her offensive capabilities, both attack and speed, up to +9. Dive Bomb for the B slot at start of turn, or at start of combat, excuse me. If both unit and foe's HP is greater than or equal to 80% and unit initiates combat, unit can make a follow-up attack before foe can counter attack. Very, very strong. Speed Smoke 4 for the C slot. After combat, inflicts speed -7 on target and foes within 2 spaces of target through their next action, and grants speed +6 and dodge to unit for 1 turn. Really? So dodge is that damage reduction effect that that relies on speed, if I'm remembering correctly. Because they did remove definitions, which I think is a good thing. They removed and really cleaned up the the actual trailer, so it's not 2 pages long. I do appreciate that. But yeah, my recollection is that dodge is that damage reduction ability that's predicated on the speed stat. So, wow, she's got... you can kind of tell and envision exactly what she's built for. And I'm actually... at first impressions, I really like her weapon. I think the archetype is really interesting. It's unique. It has unique utility built into it. It's one of the better support partner type effects that we've seen. And her ability to just kind of swoop in, essentially, warp in, dive bomb the opponent that is threatening her partner, and then afterwards do the speed smoke. That smoke skill is amazing, actually. C-Slot is always going to be flex, but for her that works really well, because that's of course going to cast, to the extent the enemy in front of her is not dead, which they probably will be if you're going to be using her to warp in for that. That means that any surrounding threats to her will not only be, you'll have that basically a -13 speed differential from the buff and debuff effect, and then she'll take advantage of the dodge for damage reduction, so she can tank incoming attacks. So I think it's well thought out. It's really nice. I like how this I like how her skill set and kit is set up here. So here is Fallen Ninian. She is going to be an infantry blue dragon, so not really differentiated in any way from her original form in the game. And her art is very similar, at least in terms of the design and composition, her outfit at least. I like the frost and the snowflakes around her. The aura kind of whipping up from beneath her is really nice. I do like the glowing red eyes, and the shade across them has this very menacing kind of appeal to it. I would say that besides those effects, the art is a little bit on the plainer side to me. It's certainly not bad art for her. I think it's a great representation of her. Also doesn't like blow me away. And again, I do think there was a little bit of missed opportunity to kind of differentiate and expound upon the whole fallen element of the design. Enveloping Breath is going to be 16 might, grants res +3. If Sing or Dance is used, inflicts attack res -7 and guard on foes in cardinal directions of unit and target through their next actions. And at start of combat, if unit's HP is greater than or equal to 25%, grants +6 to speed and res during combat, and then you have adaptive damage for ranged units as well. So certainly not the most amazing Dragonstone we've ever seen, and definitely more support-based than anything else. The Cardinal Direction debuff with the guard is pretty nice. The guard effect is particularly, I think, good for that component of the weapon. And then the buffs, the in-combat buffs are just okay. So I think her real utility is going to come out of the unique refresh assist that she has. So let's take a look at that. Call to Flame grants another action a unit to target ally and grants attack +6 and special cooldown charge +1 per attack during combat to that ally for 1 turn. Only's highest value applied, does not stack. Also, if the target ally is a dragon, target can move 1 extra space. There we go. So this is the real value to Fallen Ninian here. She is going to not only dance and refresh and give a +6 attack buff, that's fine, that's pretty good, but it's the special cooldown charge +1 per attack buff to her ally. That's going to be very, very strong. And then giving an extended movement tile to an allied dragon that she refreshes. Note that it is not restricted to any particular movement type, so that does include cavalry dragons that are out there. So cavalry dragons are going to have even more extreme range. So yeah, that's going to be great. That's a great assist for sure. B, Dual Infantry 4 for the A slot, so that is certainly going to help her with arena scoring. Being a dancer, that is going to give her a little bit more of an edge there. Much, much better than the Tier 3 or Generation 3 dual skills, and so having this in the General Summon pool, I think, is a big boon. So that's going to be nice to have out there. For the B slot, Odd Pulse Tie 3. At start of odd number turns, if any foe's HP +1 is less than or equal to unit's HP, and that foe's special is ready, inflict special cooldown count +2 on foe with the lowest HP among those foes. Cannot exceed the foe's maximum special cooldown. Pulse Tie skills, I'm not the biggest fan of them personally. I think they're just way too situational. You have the even odd mechanic, and then it's also like based upon the HP and the special being ready, but then it's the lowest HP among the foes that have the special ready, so you don't have a whole lot of control there. So I'm just not the biggest fan of them. I mean, they do have some utility, of course, and they are map wide, so you don't have to it's not positioning based. But all the same, I feel like there's so many other B slot skills that would be better suited. Cross Spur Attack for the C slot. Grants attack +5 to allies in cardinal directions of unit during combat. For a support unit like Ninian here, that is actually pretty darn good. C-slot is pretty flex too, but it's just a solid skill to have. It's just going to enhance the offensive power of her allies, and that's exactly what you want, especially when she's able to support them so well with Call to Flame. So yeah, Fallen Ninian's got some great stuff here. I would say relatively cohesive of a kit. Even though I don't like Pulse Tie, it still does kind of synergize, or at least it has the same goal in terms of special charge manipulation as Call to Flame does. So, and as well as her Enveloping Breath. So it has that I guess vision in mind in the design of the character as a whole. So it does all make sense at the same time. So I think she's gonna have some really great utility. If you're a fan of running dragon teams, she's going to be a huge boon on those teams for sure, and a great support for those teams. And a lot of the skills, honestly, can be swapped out for different or better, depending on what your tactics are going to be in utilizing her. So I think she's definitely going to have a place. She's definitely going to be powerful. You're definitely going to have to watch out for her, especially when she is paired with a number of dragon allies. And here is Big Daddy Gustav as a cavalry axe unit with the familiar art. This isn't new. We've seen it before. It's great as it is. But nothing different. I always figured we would get Gustav at some point. I didn't expect to get him on a Fallen banner. But maybe something in the story, maybe Letizia brings him back in some way, and not entirely sure. Maybe it'll be more apparent when we go through the actual chapter. But as it stands, I mean, they really just desaturated the art, and it's darker now, which fits thematically. And then I did see in his attacking art they added sort of a glow and a trail, a red light trail from his eyes, which I think is a nice effect. So we'll have to see what the deal is with his story. So he has Headsman Glitnir. It's a 16 might axe. Accelerate special trigger, cooldown count -1. At start of combat, if unit's HP is greater than or equal to 25%, inflicts -5 to attack speed and defense on foe during combat, grants special cooldown charge +1 to unit, and inflicts special cooldown charge -1 on foe per attack during combat. And also if foe can counter, or if foe initiates combat, unit makes a guaranteed follow-up attack. Okay, alright. So this is a very solid weapon. It's going to tie into Gustav being a tankier unit. It's going to tie into providing and facilitating his special charge and preventing the enemy's special charge, which again adds to his bulk from a technical perspective. And also, if foe can counter, so that means that any melee-based unit or any unit with close counter, or if the foe initiates combat, he makes a guaranteed follow-up attack. That's very, very strong, very, very solid. Bonfire for the special, attack defense catch 4. That's pretty decent, and again, it's going to add to his overall bulk and overall killing potential. Attack defense near trace 3, once again, giving him Kanto as a cavalry is one of the best things for the B slot, and that is also going to lend itself to his ability to supercharge his bonfire, essentially, and also decrease the amount of damage that he takes. And then attack smoke 4 for the C slot. After combat, inflicts attack -7 on target and foes within 2 spaces of target through their next actions. Grants defense res +6 to unit for 1 turn, and unit gains foe cannot make a follow-up attack for 1 turn. Really? I gotta say, the Smoke 4 skills are hitting right. Such an upgrade over the Smoke 3 skills, especially in the context of being competitive alongside all of the other C-slot options that are available, and the effects are really strong. And I like that they're tailored to sort of the specific stat that you're debuffing. They're not just all like blanketly one effect, like Guard, across all of them. No, they're kind of specialized, which I think makes a lot of sense, and I think that's a great approach into upgrading or taking a look at revamping the Smoke skills. So Smoke skills are really strong here, and Gustav's kit as a whole I think is going to be very potent, and obviously the Smoke 4 plays very well with Glitnir in that it prevents follow-up attacks, whereas Glitnir provides him or guarantees his own follow-up attacks. The special charge ability is going to allow him to proc that bonfire, which is going to hit extremely hard, considering all of the defensive buffs that he's going to be taking into combat with him here, with the follow-up attack. So yeah, no, he's going to be a menace for sure. And finally, last but certainly not least, we have Fallen Rhea, who is going to be an armored, colorless dragon. Art by Tefish is gorgeous and distinctive. She has that really brilliant green hair that contrasts and complements really beautifully with this bright magenta wisps that are around her and the aura around her. Those complementary colors just pair very, very well. She has some of that dark corruption creeping up the sides of her face, contrasts with her delicate, fair skin and facial features, her bright eyes. I do really like how the underside to her long flowing hair has this dark violet look to it. Really kind of adds to the overall dark appeal and look that she has. You have this otherworldly evil growth spawning from below, and then the vines just sort of creeping up her figure and hugging the thin fabric of her outfit. So Rhea comes with Ruinous Frost. It's a 16 might Dragonstone, has a killer slaying effect. If foe initiates combat, or if foe's HP is greater than or equal to 75% at the start of combat, grants attack +6 to unit, inflicts attack -6 on foe, and unit's first attack deals damage equal to 40% of foe's res during combat. And also, both unit and foe cannot make a follow-up attack if foes range... for ranged enemies does adaptive damage. Interesting. And that's a plethora of great stuff in there. Killer Slaying effect is solid. Enemy phasing or 75% HP for the enemy is a pretty easy condition to meet. As long as she's enemy phasing, she is always going to get these effects. +6 attack, -6 attack on foe is great. And then the raw true damage of 40% of foe's res during combat stacked onto the attack. And then both unit and foe cannot make a follow-up attack. Alright, Glimmer for the special interesting choice. Bracing Stance 3. If foe initiates combat, grants +6 to defense and res during combat, and inflicts special cooldown charge -1 on foe per attack. That is obviously going to be very, very strong for an enemy phasing tanky unit, neutralizing the enemy's ability to gain special charge, which is one of the bigger threats to really tanky units. True Dragon Wall for the B slot, so this is going to be unique to her. If unit's res is greater than foe's res, reduces damage from attacks during combat and from AoE specials by percentage equal to the difference between stats times 6. Max 60% for this unit's first combat in player phase and enemy phase, and percentage equals difference between stats times 4, max 40% for this unit's second combat or later. If Dragon or Beast ally is on your team, restore 7 HP to unit at start of turn and after combat. As long as her res is above her foe's res, she's going to enjoy up to 60% damage reduction for the first combat within a phase, and then 40% damage reduction for all of the rest of the phase, which is really strong. It's not based upon enemy phasing, it's not based on player phasing, it's not based on the first attack within combat or last attack within combat. It's just a straight damage reduction across the board as long as she has res greater than foe's res. It scales with that difference, but up to 60% for the first and then up to 40% for the second, and every attack thereafter is really, really potent. That's very strong. And then granting is, so if she has a beast or dragon ally with her, she gets 7 HP at the start of the turn and after combat. So you get the little Mystic Boost heal at the end, and you also get a +7 HP at the start of every turn as well. So that means that is going to make it exceedingly difficult to whittle down her health, because she is just going to be constantly healing. She's going to have that built-in damage reduction, so she's going to get a lot of dings. You're not going to be able to follow-up attack her, so that is also going to limit your damage output against her. So a lot of things that are here, unless you neutralize some of these effects that she has, is going to be really difficult to counter her and deal enough damage to put a substantial dent where the healing isn't going to take over. So that's definitely intimidating. Defense res near save 3 for the C slot. If foe uses a melee weapon and initiates combat against an ally within 2 spaces, triggers Savior on unit. If unit triggers Savior, grants defense res +4 during combat. So she is going to be a save unit, and that makes perfect sense because she is quite literally a dragon wall. I mean, she has... she's going to neutralize the enemy's ability to really do any damage at all, and also neutralize their ability to gain special charge, going to have damage reduction built in, going to have healing built in. All of these things are going to make it very, very difficult to take her out on the battlefield if you don't have specific counters built up around her. She is an armored dragon, which does mean that she has double weaknesses, so bring your dragon effective weapons, your armor effective weapons. She does not have an innate way to neutralize either of those. But that being said, she's still going to have so much damage reduction and high defenses built in that it's even with those effective weapons, it's going to be difficult to one-shot her, which, again, unless you're able to neutralize the cannot make a follow-up attack, you're going to have to do. So, yeah, really, really quite the formidable kit for sure. So starting on the 10th of May and going for essentially an entire month, new heroes Beyond Control. These units are not going to be limited in any capacity. They are going to drop into the regular summon pool after the event leaves, and everybody is going to be able to spark for a single one of these units 40 summons in. Yeah, I think that Rhea, by and large, is the strongest unit on the banner. I don't think that's a surprise, and I don't think that's a hot take. I think she's just really, really potent and has a lot going for her. She's just super, super tanky. And I think that from that perspective, if you need a unit that fits that near save role, she kind of perfectly fits that near save role. Even having that double weakness that I think people harp on a little bit too much. Now, Lilith, I think, is one of the more interesting units on the banner besides Rhea. I just think that pair-up mechanic or the support mechanic where she's able to warp in is just really unique. She also has the smoke skill. I think that Ninian is going to be so strong on dragon-centric teams. I think the utility that she brings as far as the movement as well as the special charge is really going to just give a huge boost to Dragon Emblem teams in general. Gustav is probably the most boring unit on the banner, but that's not really saying much because he's still excellent. He has Kanto, he has the smoke skill, the attack smoke skill, which is really strong. His weapon does a ton of things. It's going to help him proc his special, which with those defenses that he has is going to do a ton of damage, so he's got that going for him. So this is definitely a solid banner. If you like any of these units, it's not a waste to spend your orbs on this one because all of these are going to be pretty formidable and they're probably going to have a lot of longevity attached to them. Fallen Heroes in general have historically had a lot of longevity attached to them. They stick around as far as the value is concerned, and I think this is going to be no exception. For me personally, I am probably going to spark for Rhea, and I think I'm probably going to go for Lilith as well. I mean, I think that her mechanic is very fun, but I think Rhea, again, strongest unit on the banner, also subjectively for me has the best art on the banner. So that's probably going to be who I spark for. But let me know in the comments below who you're most excited for on the banner. Did you guess this banner? Any of the units that were revealed? Did you guess any of them before the banner dropped? And who you're going to be hunting, if any of them, when the banner hits. Bear in mind that for the seasonal this month, I think we are getting brides, and this banner is going to be around for an entire month. So maybe you want to wait for the bridal banner to hit to see who's on that before you jump in on this one. But again, not a waste of orbs to jump in on this one, I don't think at all. Pretty safe investment of your orbs to get some of these units. So hopefully you all enjoyed the video. If you did, please feel free to leave us a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more Fire Emblem Heroes content. We thank you all so much for watching and for taking time out of your day to spend with us. We really do appreciate it. And until next time, let's protect those skies.